วัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับพบกันเช่นเคยนะครับใน The Diplomat ทาง Spring News กับคุณมิกกี้ทันชนกจงยศยิ่งและผมวารินทร์สัจเดลครับ
ค่ะวันนี้รายการ The Diplomat เป็นเทปที่ดิฉันก็ตื่นเต้นพอสมควรเลยนะคะเพราะว่าเป็นประเทศที่โอ้โหน่าสนใจมากเลยทีเดียว
เป็นประเทศที่ให้กำเนิดเครื่องดื่มที่เรารู้จักกันในนามโมฮิโต้นะครับรัมบ้าชาชามิวสิกเชเรงกาซัลซาดนตรีพวกนี้เนี่ยมาจากประเทศนี้หมดเลย
ใช่ค่ะแล้ววันนี้นะคะเราก็มาอยู่ที่บ้านพักของท่านทูตท่านนี้ด้วยค่ะ
ซึ่งคุณมิกกี้กับผมก็เห็นพ้องต้องกันนะครับว่าเป็นท่านทูตที่สไตลิชมาก
ๆใช่ค่ะเดี๋ยววันนี้เราจะมาพบกับท่านทูตของคิวบาประจำประเทศไทยนะคะเอกอัครราชทูตวิกเตอร์รามิเรสค่ะ
ครับชื่อเต็มก็คือพระท่านวิกเตอร์รามิเรสเปียนานะครับท่านจะมาพาเราไปทำความรู้จักกับคิวบาแล้วก็ของดีๆของคิวบามากมายและโอกาสที่นักลงทุนไทยจะไปลงทุนในคิวบาด้วยนะครับแต่ว่าตอนนี้เราไปดูไฮไลท์ของรายการวันนี้กันก่อนเลยครับและตอนนี้นะครับทั้งคุณมิกกี้และผมก็นั่งอยู่กับท่านทูตซึ่งมิกกี้กับผมตกลงแล้วก็ตกลงเห็นพ้องต้องกันนะครับว่าเป็นท่านทูตที่เปรี้ยวมากคนหนึ่ง
ใช่ค่ะก็เห็นปุ๊บเนี่ยก็พอจะคาดเดาได้เลยนะคะว่าต้องมาจากประเทศที่ไม่ธรรมดาแน่นอน
ไม่ธรรมดาแน่นอนนะครับพระท่านวิกเตอร์รามิเรสเพญานะครับท่านทูตคิวบาประจำประเทศไทยสวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Welcome to the show, Ambassador.
Well, thank you very much for your presence, for giving me the opportunity to be in your program and to enlighten the Thai audiences a little bit about my country, which is quite unknown. Or distorted to most
Not really.
people.
Quite known.
Yes, we know.
We know your cigar, music, Buena Vista Social Club,
Havana.
Yeah. Quite known. But we were talking about how stylish you are, Ambassador. Every time we see you, I remember the art exhibition. You were talking about your outfit. You know, I remember asking you who are you wearing, right? And today you're also very stylish, Ambassador.
Well, I try to impress you on the television so that you transmit a positive image of my country, starting by myself. But well, yes, this is Cuba's national dress, official by that matter.
Okay.
And I couldn't wear anything else on a day like today than this outfit. It's called Guayabera. Guayabera, that's the name of it. And it has a history that goes back to the beginning of last century when peasants used to wear it when they were collecting guayabas, which is the Spanish word for guavas. And they needed large pockets to put them in. That's the story in central Cuba. Guava is the English, the fruit. The fruit, which in Spanish is guayaba. That is why the name is Guayabera.
This outfit.
That's right. And there are several countries in South America which also have different styles. Ours is characterized by these pleats, which are a headache at the time of ironing. And we have also for women. We have for women guayaberas, a long middle cover, if you wish. They have to be in linen. And in other countries, it's not official dress. The pleats are different. There are some brand trade names which have been producing, like Pierre Cardin and all of that, with different, but because this is Cuban national brand
With the pleats.
with this type of pleats.
So normally people there wear the colorful clothes or not?
Well, we're very colorful people because our country is very colorful too. If you go around Havana, you will see buildings painted in the most diverse colors. And I think we are the population. Cuba has everything. You know, it's very curious that I talk to some people sometimes in countries I've been to, and they say, oh, but I thought all Cubans were black. And I said, why? I said, well, because you are a power, a world power in sports, and most of your gold medalists are black. I said, yeah, but Cuba has also lots of whites, and in between us, and everything.
Yeah.
So we are a country of intense colors. The green of Cuba is blinding. You know, that's why I also love to have a lot of green in my house. As you can see,
Yes.
it's not very
Yes.
common also
Yeah.
to have in Thailand, especially the walls painted in green,
Right.
which was a big fight when I wanted to do it because most people green. Wow,
Yeah.
Thai.
Yeah.
We like the colors.
A little
Right.
Cuba, a little Havana.
Yeah, that's right.
As
That's
we
right.
walk in, yeah. So, our two countries' diplomatic relations. How long does it date back?
Officially, it dates back. We established official relations in 1976. That is, it's going to be 40 years in a couple of years. But it is very, very peculiar that there is a letter I have discovered very recently by King Chulalongkorn, dated something June 1903, which recognizes the newly established Republic of Cuba and wishes the president, the first president of Cuba, Don Tomás Estrada Palma, his best wishes on behalf of the Thai people. If you're interested or you think it's interesting, I can read the letter because I was surprised. I didn't find that in the archives in Cuba. I found it in the archives of the embassy, recently looking through all papers. And it was so interesting because the king starts saying on behalf of as the king of Thailand,
Siam, maybe back then.
Siam at
Yes.
that time,
King of Siam.
King of Siam,
Yeah.
and all its territories, including Laos at that time, and Laos and 2 or 3 other places. One, which I think is
Cambodia?
Koreans. Not the Korean, I think it's the Koreans from
Karen
Myanmar.
from Myanmar.
From,
Karen.
from Myanmar at that time. And it was really revealing. I have a copy right at hand here. If you want, I can read it later on.
We can take a look.
So for modern day relations, what are the highlighted cooperation between the two countries?
Well, on our side, I think the most outstanding cooperation that we have given Thailand in the past has been in sports, specifically in boxing. As you know, or probably know, Cuba is a world power in boxing. We are the champions of boxing. They're very fighty people.
Yes.
Been fighting most of our lives. So we have developed some skills. And there was an agreement between Cuba and Thailand a few years back to provide coaching in boxing, amateur boxing, not the Thai boxing. And we sent one of our best coaches here, and that coach enabled Thailand to obtain its first Olympic medal in the history of the country. And that is why boxing has become, as I have tested and experienced in Thailand through my 2 years experience here, the most well-known thing about Cuba in this country.
But recently, we hear some signal from the administration in Cuba that maybe you are relaxing the economic measures and you're opening up for more investment as well from foreign countries. So, what would you like to say to Thai investors who are keen on investing in Cuba?
Well, yes, we are introducing a number of changes in the country because human beings, countries, if they don't change with the changing times, you perish. And life for Cuba is not easy for reasons that you are aware of, and I'm not going to explain. It's probably more difficult for us than for most countries, but nonetheless, Cuba has progressed enormously in its social and even in the economic sphere. Today, Cuba's life expectancy is one of the highest in the world. It's nearly 78 years of age. And we are in the human development index below 60. If you put all the developed world and 3 or 4 other, you will see that we are right there. But having said that, we have we are introducing, and we will continue to introduce as many changes as are possible to advance in the difficult circumstances in which we live. One of these changes is, I will mention just 2, which are, I think, of importance. One is the approval of a new foreign investment law, which is absolutely new. April this year has been published in the National Gazette. And the opening of Cuba's first free economic zone called Mariel. Mariel is a deep water port 45 kilometers west of Havana with very good communication roads. And we are encouraging foreign participation there. We are open to any field except for education and health, 2 areas in which we are very strong worldwide. But the rest is open, and armed forces. Although in the armed forces there are some areas that can be, but any other thing. I could mention from my little knowledge of Thailand that there are 2 areas that could be very interesting for Thai entrepreneurs, like packaging. You have a good packaging industry. We are encouraging that sector. We are encouraging also, apart from the economic zone, in tourism. Tourism is the most dynamic sector of Cuba's economy for the last 15 years or so because of the beauty of my land. And we're open for hotel construction, for golf courses, which you have so many in this country. We need a lot of golf courses if you can promote this, and the incentives are very, very encouraging. We are offering in the new foreign investment law some of the most attractive stimulus on a world scale. I could say that exemption from tax, from profit, from repatriation of profits, and for repatriation of income for foreign personnel established in the country. 99 years extension of contracts, renewable.
Wow.
And like that, there are a large number of incentives there that can compete on a world scale and even go further than that. So those are areas that I think, the Thai business community. I forgot one, which is also very promising, the oil exploration. You have PTT here, which is a large company, one of the largest of the country. And I'm sure these possibilities are not very well known. Thailand only now is encouraging an enlargement of business with Latin America. And I would like to profit of this opportunity to inform about this.
right
แต่ก่อนที่จะไปลงทุนที่คิวบานะครับผมว่าช่วงหน้าเนี่ยเราให้ท่านทูตพาไปเที่ยว
ใช่
ไป
ค่ะ
ทำความรู้จักคิวบากันก่อนดีกว่านะครับพักกันสักครู่หนึงครับช่วงนี้ก่อนที่เราจะพาคุณผู้ชมไปท่องเที่ยวกันที่ประเทศคิวบานะครับอยากจะให้ชมภาพนี้นะครับซึ่งท่านทูตเนี่ยหลงไหลภาพนี้มากเลย You're so into this painting, Ambassador. It's Havana, isn't it?
Yes, it's one of my favorite because Havana I consider a beautiful city. It's by the seaside, and this depicts the downtown area for about 12 kilometers long. Incidentally, I love it so much that I moved to that area because it's very refreshing. It's a wall that was built to contain the sea during winter, which becomes rough only when there are cold waves coming from the North Atlantic, because we don't have a real permanent winter. Climate in Cuba is very around 26 average most of the time.
26
Year round?
Year round,
Wow.
but in December, January, February, when there are cold waves that come from the North Atlantic, they cool a little bit. Could be 15 degrees like that, not much.
Pretty high waves though, it looks like tsunami.
And then then the wall was built precisely to contain
The waves.
the wave. But the wall gave such character to Havana that the downtown area has been built all along. This is a very peculiar and famous building.
Which one? This one?
This one. Yeah, it's a high-rise building.
Can we
Your
walk
apartment
around
is there?
there?
Yes.
Your apartment is there?
No, mine is a little to the right, after this one. One of this building, one of these two.
Okay.
But we can walk around here, right? The
You-
walkway.
It's like a boardwalk?
You know, the big peculiarity of the Malecon, the name is Malecon.
Malecon.
The wall is called Malecon. When you talk of Cuba, you have to talk of the Malecon. You have to talk of Old Havana. But when you talk of the Malecon, is in summer, is the place where all Havanians are the whole night long. Because people go to the Malecon, friends go there to talk, drink a beer,
Hangout place?
hangout place.
Music?
Poets, they go to compose because you sit with the.
You were going to share with us a secret of what Christopher Columbus said about Cuba when he discovered it.
Yes, you know, Cuba was the second land to be discovered when Christopher Columbus sailed westwards, trying to reach your places, the east. And the first was on the 12th of October, that is National Day of Spain, Dominican Republic, and Haiti, which are together in an island called then Española. 15 days after, 12 days after, sorry, was Cuba. When Christopher Columbus landed in Cuba, he said, I quote, and it's in the logbook, this is the fairest island human eyes have yet beheld. In simpler English, this is the most beautiful land that human eyes have ever seen. This is the logbook.
Wow. So, should we go there?
Invited right from the moment, and we will sit at the Malecon.
You really make us want to go there
In
now.
Malecon,
At the
yeah.
Malecon.
When is
Yeah.
the best time to visit Cuba?
Well, for me, it's summer. For me,
Summer, which is June, July, August.
which is June, July, August, September, because it is the period. And you see, we have 200 beaches, some of which are 29 kilometer non-stop. You don't see that very often, because many of the best beaches in the world are small pieces of like 500 meters, 1 kilometer. We have beaches like, for example, Varadero Beach, 100 kilometers east of Havana, 29 kilometers of white refined sand, sugar, like sand. So Cubans like swimming in the daytime. If you ask me what is the ideal day for a Cuban, I would say, go to the beach. Go to the beach? No, go to the beach to hang out with friends and boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, or just a group of friends or a family. Spend the whole day by the beach, come back home, take a little rest, and then go salsa dancing, which, as you know, is a Cuban discovery.
Why don't you two show us some salsa moves? How about that? ปล่อยให้ทั้งคู่เต้นรำไปนะครับพาคุณผู้ชมไปเที่ยวคิวบากันในช่วงนี้กันก่อนเลยดีกว่านะครับเชิญชมเลยครับ
Para limpiar las heridas, a veces solo una gota puede vencer la sequía. ¿Y para qué llorar? ¿Para qué? Si duele una pena, se olvida. ¿Y para qué sufrir? ¿Para qué? Si así es la vida, hay que vivirla. Voy a reír, voy a bailar, vivir mi vida. Voy a reír, voy a gozar, vivir mi vida. Eso. Voy a gozar, vivir mi vida.
เข้าสู่ช่วงสุดท้ายนะฮะของรายการคุณโยกไม่หยุดแล้วคุณมิก
โย
กี้
กไม่หยุดละ
เป็นนักเต้นซาลซ่าเหรอฮะ
ไม่เคยเรียนเต้นบ้างเต้นละตินแล้วชอบมากเลย
นะฮะ
มา
เมื่อสักค
นี่
รู่วาดลวดลายกับท่านทูตแล้วนะฮะ
ตะกี้ขาแข็งไปนิดนึง
Salsa. Well, Ambassador, we're in the special segment of our show, talks about culture, and you are introducing a new kind of music to us. That's
well-
little known outside Cuba.
That's right.
Because I mean, these are the people that I know, Buena Vista Social
Buena Vista
Club
Social
members, yeah, and they're quite popular worldwide. But what are we listening to, Ambassador?
Well, I think if Cuba does something well, it's music and dancing.
You're good in everything: sports, music, dancing. We're about to have your food.
Actually-
little known because usually the
Cigar, my
usually
goodness,
what is
rum.
said about Cuba, especially in the international
Yeah.
big media, is bad about Cuba. But we have a number of good things.
Yes,
and music is one of them.
Yeah.
We
didn't know that you actually created rumba. You said.
rumba is Cuban music.
Yeah.
Mambo.
Mambo number 5. Yeah.
Mambo is
Hey,
Cuban.
Mambo.
Yeah.
It's Cuban creation of the 30s.
Okay.
Salsa is a Cuban creation, although it's a rhythm that was born in Cuba with the name of son, S-O-N, in the beginning of last century.
I see.
And was retuned, let's say, in the early 80s.
Yeah.
But it's called salsa because it was a Cuban musician who, together with some other Latin American, Central American and Caribbean musicians, give it the new flavor of the new instruments.
So rumba,
Rumba, mambo, salsa, bolero, cha-cha.
Cha-cha too.
Cha-cha is also
And this
Cuban.
one is charanga.
And this is charanga. It's also another type of
Wow.
Cuban music, less known in foreign countries,
I
but
think
it's very lively and
we need to dedicate another episode
okay
on
at your
music
disposal.
education.
At
Yeah,
your disposal all the time.
but we're hungry now.
Oh well.
Actually, we have to take time to learn how to dance
Yeah.
before the next episode, and we focus on dancing.
Well, I can
You
teach.
have a partner already.
Ah,
Yeah.
who, Mickey?
Yeah, of course, not me.
Okay. Well, I can teach both of you, but it'll be free for her.
All right. Can I use the card?
Okay. Well, I invite you to have some Cuban food.
We're hungry now.
You're hungry. All
It
right.
smells so good, Ambassador.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right, let's. กลิ่นอบอวลตั้งแต่
ใช่ค่ะ
ก้าวเข้ามาในบ้านของท่านทูตเลยนะครับคุณมิก
ค่ะ
กี้
ก็เป็นช่วงเวลาที่เราสองคนก็รอคอยเหมือนกันนะ จะได้ชิมอะไรใหม่ๆ
จะ
ด้
ได้
วย
ชิม
นะ
อะไร
คะ
ใหม่ๆด้วยนะครับนอกจากดนตรีแล้วเนี่ยก็คืออาหารคิวบาก็
ค่ะ
เป็นอะไรที่น่าจะเป็นวัฒนธรรมใหม่ๆสำหรับ
ใช่ค่ะ
ผู้ชมของเราด้วยเหมือนกันนะครับ and Ambassador you have a very important guest who has so generously prepared the meal for us today คุณเบลคิส Welcome to the show คุณ
Thank you
Belkis
very much.
Thank you so much and I've heard from the ambassador that you've been living here in Thailand for
The last 10 years.
For the last 10 years and
Yes.
you're good friends
Yes.
Yeah
Living
you're
there
among
since-
the few Cubans in Bangkok
She is our best friend,
Yeah.
and she's a neighbor too.
Yeah, neighbor. And how many Cubans are in Bangkok, Ambassador?
Register in the consulate is about 30 or so, but usually it's more than that.
So because there are very few Cuban people living here, when you want to have Cuban food,
Where do we go?
Yeah, where do we go?
Well, what we do, some things of Mexico are common to Cuba, like the tamal, for example. Tamal, which is a corn-based thing. Or Colombians have some things which are also common to Cuba.
Are you
Last
here
time-
by yourself, Ambassador? Because we saw pictures of your wife and your daughter. Are they here with you in Bangkok?
Well, that's the reason why Belkis is here, because they're not. My daughter is in Cuba, but my wife is with me here, but she's traveling at the moment. And Belkis has been kind enough, being the friend that she is of the house, to help us with the Cuban
Wow.
food
Okay.
and looking after you at this side.
Thank
of,
you so
No,
much.
Thank you.
So,
You're
what?
welcome.
Please give us some
Well, I will
Cuban
start.
food for dummies.
I
yeah.
think. I
You
think.
start by the starter.
Well, we start with the caldosa. It's
Caldosa.
yes. It's every 28th of September. We organize a party. It's called how will you translate like a
Neighborhood.
neighbors committee. You know, so everybody the street gets closed and people
In Cuba.
in Cuba. So every neighborhood does this their own soup.
I
So
see.
everybody brings their own ingredients, you know, and they cook it.
And they share it.
And in the evening it's a big party and we
Wow,
share it.
that's a
and-
nice culture.
Yeah, so every 28th of September it happens.
Yeah, and it's called caldosa, which caldo is a derivative from caldo, and caldo is like the soup.
The soup.
The soup. But this is a thick soup because people bring different things. I bring pumpkin, you bring some.
So it gets richer
And
and richer and richer.
Yeah, and it gets good for yeah.
We open a fire usually in the middle of the
It's
road.
more like in the north of Thailand we have
Yes.
gang ho.
Can hold the thing that we mix
In-
everything
Okay.
together.
Together, yeah, we have the same culture in Chiang Mai.
So
yeah.
next program
Yeah.
we will have the kanho,
Gang ho.
prepared by Mickey.
Yeah, she's from Chiang Mai anyway. I think, so she can.
Chiang Mai.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right, good.
This one is it's called yuca con mojo.
Yuca is tapioca,
Yes.
and mojo, yuca con mojo.
Yeah.
Yuca with, tapioca with, mojo is
The
the
dressing.
gravy, the dressing. that is.
The dressing. So the dressing has like pork, little bit just for flavor, you know, onion, garlic, lemon, and it's a nice We really Cuba is like number one.
มันสำปะหลังใช่ไห
มันสำปะหลัง
คะ
tapioca
ซอสอะไรก็ว่าไป
And
นะ
then let me put so that you know that I also know about cooking.
โอเค
This rice is very typical of Cuba when we have a party or let's say on Christmas or New Year's Eve, and it's called Moors and Christians. And it's a very interesting story why Moors and Christians. It is a combination of black beans cooked together with rice, and then the rice gets a middle of the way color. But where it appears is originally a Spanish invention from the times when the Moors, that is the Arabs, conquered the Iberian Peninsula, that is Spain and Portugal of today. You know, the Moors were there for 700 years, and they were at war for a long time. And there was a time when there was nothing to eat for the troops, and then the chef comes to the commander of the troops and says, "Commander, there is nothing to eat, only rice and beans." And the commander said, "Put them together, cook them together," and that's how it comes. Why Moors and Christians? Because the Moors were dark skinned, represented by the beans, and the Spaniards were white, represented by the white, the Christian, represented by the white.
Moors and Christian.
Moors and Christians. So it's our national dish.
All right. And you have it just like that, or with
No,
with,
you accompany.
It's a rice.
You accompany the rice. You usually first we will have the
Soup.
caldosa,
Yeah.
and then we will have the rice accompanied by the
Tapioca.
and this which is called ropa vieja. Ropa is garment, clothes, and vieja is old. In a better translation would be like torn apart
Stew.
Meat. Why torn apart? And why we call ropa vieja. Old clothes, they usually tear apart. And this, when you prepare it, there is a moment in the process in which you have to tear apart the flesh.
Yes,
And
you
then it
don't-
becomes like that.
I
You
see.
don't cut it with a knife.
เนื้อฉีก
You have to.
Shred it like a.
with the fingers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
You can do with the
instrument.
finger, or you
Yeah.
can do with
But
two.
you have to tear them apart.
Yeah, with
That's
two
why.
forks. You take two forks and you tear. Then you will see when you serve it that
It's
it's
torn.
like that.
Yeah.
It's quite famous in Latin America, but it's a Cuban, whole
Origin.
Cuban dish.
All right. Do you cook, Ambassador?
I have the theory. Well, please help yourself. Ladies first.
No wonder Belkis is here.
Help yourself with. It's not so sweet. It's good. Good enough. I think.
too bad, yeah.
How do you find it? Sweet?
Not sweet.
Too much sweet?
No.
Good.
But rich, yes.
Yes.
Very thick.
Very thick. And the corn, you usually take with your hands because
Oh,
really to eat the corn on your spoon it's like cutting cane. So
Yeah.
I will lead by example.
Yeah.
If you want to keep it up, it's okay.
How long does it take to
3
make
hours,
this?
3, 4 hours.
Wow.
To make the soup.
Yeah.
Wow.
Has a very slow.
So you've been here all morning then. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I hope you like the food.
ค่ะ ก็ถึงช่วงท้ายของเวลาเรา
ครับ
รายการเรา
ครับช่วงท้ายของรายการเรานะครับโอ้โหท่านทูตเนี่ยมีของรางวัลมาแจกมากมาย แล้วก็
ใช่
แต่ละชิ้นเนี่ยไม่ซ้ำกันเลย
ค่ะ
นะครับ คำถามของเราง่ายๆเลยนะครับถ้าตั้งใจดูรายการตั้งแต่แรกเลยนะครับชุดที่ท่านทูตสวมใส่อยู่นี่นะครับเป็นชุดประจำชาติของคิวบามีชื่อว่าอะไร
ใช่ค่ะรู้สึกว่าคุณ
ยาก
บา
ไปไหม
รินแล้วก็ท่านทูตย้ำหลายรอบเลยนะ
ย้ำหลายรอบมากๆ
ไม่ยากแน่นอนเลย
ไม่
ค่ะ
ยาก
ก็
ไม่ยาก
ส่งคำตอบนะคะมาได้ที่ www.facebook.com/thediplomatspringnews ค่ะผู้โชคดีก็จะได้รับของที่ระลึกนะคะจากสถานทูตคิวบาประจำประเทศไทยไป
ครับวันนี้ขอบคุณมากนะครับสำหรับการติดตามชมรายการนะครับคุณมิกกี้ผมวารินนะครับท่านทูตวิกเตอร์ รามิเรส เปญญานะครับและคุณเบลคีสนะครับวันนี้เราทั้ง4คนลาไปก่อนเลยนะครับสวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Cuba hermosa, me gusta todo de ti. Me voy pa' España y llego ahí. Me gusta todo de ti. A ver a una buena gallega. Me gusta todo de ti. Que me ponga de nuevo a vivir. Viva España, Cañí. Viva España, Coñá. Las mujeres son de aquí y los hombres son de allá. ¡Viva España!
ธันวาคมนี้พบกับรายการ The Diplomat ช่วงเวลาใหม่ทุกวันศุกร์เวลา 21:10 น.และรีรันในวันอาทิตย์เวลา 17:10 น.ทางสถานีโทรทัศน์ Spring News ทีวีดิจิตอลช่อง 19